sketch comedian, like a Monty Python type of group, or a Saturday Night Live type of thing. But that didn't really work. But it, or that's why we'd be talking. But what it gave me was an arsenal of different characters and voices, and the ability to sort of snap into them fairly quickly. And so when I realized that I wasn't going to become a sketch comedy superstar, I decided, well, I better pursue representation and actually, follow the path that one follows if one wants to work in this industry, and get an agent and make a demo. And so I did that and immediately began working on camera. And then about 10 years later, after knocking on the door all that time on studios, I started to finally get fairly regular work as a voiceover artist.
Okay. And before that, you were in plays, or did the plays come later?
Well, you start with plays. In high school, I started doing, just high school plays and whatever. And there was a great organization here in Vancouver at that time called the Vancouver Youth Theatre, which helped us to we generated our own material and toured it. I even went all over the world with we toured Australia with a show called Will the Real Canadian in 1988, which was a blast to do. And so that was a really great experience in terms of getting me on stage and getting me interested in writing as well as performing, and how the two of them, for me, they very much interrelate. I don't see them as two particularly different activities, writing and performing. Mm-hmm. And then from there, like I said, I wanted to do this sketch comedy, so that immediately after the high school and after the youth theater, I decided to start this troupe, which we wanted to get onto television. We had no idea how to do it. So eventually we found ourselves in front of audiences, and that kind of, helped to train me. And then from there, it turned into television work, and then plays just kept sort of interspersing themselves throughout.
Okay.
That's a nice long answer to plays first.
Oh, thank you.
Plays first.
I love plays.
Plays came first.
Now, did with doing plays and everything right on the spot and everything, did you find that it made it easier for doing television work? Or no difference?
Initially, no. Initially, it was harder. And again, I keep going back to this comedy I used to do, but everything on stage is so much broader that once you get in front of a camera, my tendency was always to just go rubber-faced and, mm-hmm. go big-eyed and giant-mouthed and basically I must have looked like Jim Carrey before Jim Carrey made it okay to look like Jim Carrey. But they kept telling me smaller, don't move your eyebrows, don't move your face, and it took me a long time to kind of get used to putting the whole performance in the eyes. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah. So all in the eyes?
Yeah, that's all in the eyes. And that's all a lot of and I realized that then once I sort of figured out that you basically channel your whole performance into your eyes for camera work, because if you do anything bigger than that, you look ridiculous on camera.
Oh.
But that lesson helped me in terms of voice work too, because so much of voice work is about vocal placement and
mm-hmm.
Do you put the voice down in your chest, or do you put it up on the top of your head? And that just moving the voice placement around gives you different characters, gives you different attitudes in your vocal range. And then that's my theory of acting too, that it's really all just one job, and it's all just about different venues equal different placements. So
yeah.
Camera is eyes, voice is voice, obviously, and stage is body or mouth even.
Now, did you have any trouble transit? Like, let's just say you had one voiceover thing here and then a on camera over here the next day or something, or in the same day, and did you have any problems transitioning from those, going from one to the other?
Yeah. Yep. I should say. Yeah.
Hey, yep.
I did at first, not so much anymore. I'm kind of used to that transitioning now. I get it, but yeah, at first it was quite difficult to have that kind of awareness of that specificity.
Yeah, and I bet it would be incredibly hard just to sit there unmovable and just move your eyes.
Well, I mean, it's not.
Well,
total immobility, right? But it's about. It's sort of hard for me to talk about it and demonstrate it without the visual aid of you being able to see my face. But it's a question of, it's easy if you have a line like, "Oh my gosh, look over there." It's easy in voice to just kind of put it all into your voice and channel it out, and so you hear it.
Yeah.
But then if you want to say that same thing with that same intensity on camera, the camera wants to see the emotion all in your eyes. They don't want to hear the emotion in your voice as much. So if you can kind of find a way to, without losing it in the voice, push it through your eyes at the same time, then it's, it sounds like a very strange thing to say, but to me that's how you kind of don't do anything on camera.
Yeah. Let's see. Questions. I do have one question here. Of course, it's the standard. Who's your favorite pony?
I think that's an obvious.
Well, except for the obvious.
Besides, I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah.
Well, then my favorite besides Big Macintosh was far and away best pony. Is I would have to say Rarity's dad.
Rarity's dad?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Are you going to eat those burnt pieces of toast?
Yeah. Are you going to eat that? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good for the parents. I mean, for the two parents, he was the better of the parent because...
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Wait. I see what you did.
Yeah, right? Wow. Finger inside the nose.
Anyways, let's see. Oh my gosh, these questions. Oh, a question for me to ask you. Is he in the chat? Huh. I think he is.
I've just answered the question in the chat.
Oh, man. Let's see. All right, so what school have you gone to? Did you go to college? Did you graduate?
I knew early that I wanted to be an actor. Back in grade 9, I guess, is when I really figured it out. And so I didn't really... I don't recommend this, kids, but I really just didn't... I did not focus on anything in school besides what I was interested in. And so I ended up graduating high school with a less than stellar average, and probably a worse average than I was capable of. But it meant when I got to university, I remember auditioning for an acting program at the University of British Columbia and getting into the program. But my Algebra 11 marks were low enough that the registrar of the university did not allow me to attend, despite letters being written and everything. So I ended up at a local college, just trying to do transfer courses to get into university so that I could then do this acting program. But various things came to pass, and it just I just ended up frustrated. I ended up completely frustrated with the post-secondary thing, and this is when I started doing the comedy, the live comedy. But what ended up happening, we did the live comedy for about 5 years, and we tried our best to be on stage in front of an audience every week as often as possible. Obviously, we did take some breaks and certainly weeks off at a time, but that in and of itself was such a great training for an actor. It was really, on-the-job training in terms of getting into characters, in terms of writing, in terms of, hitting the back of the room with your voice, in terms of all these things. So by the time that finished, I felt like I had done an intensive training program. And obviously, I think had I ended up at the UBC program, I would have learned a great deal else. But what I did learn obviously has done me very well, because I nowadays find myself standing in rooms with people that did go to these university or collegiate programs, and both of us are standing there doing the same job. So I feel like I served myself well, even though it was an unorthodox way to do things. Yeah,
that is awesome, man. To be standing in a room with other voice actors, and I can only imagine
it's a hoot. It's a hoot. What great fun.
I mean, have there been voice actors that you've worked with that you've heard before you actually got into voice acting?
Oh yeah, yeah. Guys like Gary Chalk and Scott McNeil and all these a bunch of people who've been around for years.
Were you like all fanboyish? Oh my gosh, it's you! Or were you
Well,
like, oh, I'm cool?
when I got into it, voice actors, I don't think were really. I never really connected to voice actors as celebrity actors. They were just kind of the voices of the characters that I liked. And so when you got there, and like it took me a long, I met these people a long time before I realized who they had voiced in the past, And so it was sort of this retroactive kind of that was you, wow. But by the time that happened, I was already establishing myself. So that side of it wasn't as kind of what am I trying to say? You know what I mean? Just not as it wasn't as there was no giant wow factor for me. It was just like, oh, cool, neat.
Yeah, but you said with what I kind of meant was with all actors, not just voice, but like with on stage actors or on camera actors that.
Well, certain people there are always certain people that you get starstruck by. I think my biggest one was well, there's a couple. I guess, but the very first person I was really starstruck by was probably Tim Robbins. When I worked with, I was in a movie called Antitrust from years ago. Antitrust with Tim Robbins and Ryan Phillippe and Rachel Lee Cook. Anyway, and so we did this big cast reading, and I remember Tim Robbins being there. And at the time, I was a big fan of Tim Robbins, and and it was the first time I'd ever met a genuine movie star, and so that was pretty intense. But then, really, the biggest one for me was when I worked on the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, directed by Terry Gilliam, and I am a huge, huge fan of Terry Gilliam's movies, and so to be able to work on a set with a guy. I remember watching Brazil and Time Bandits and Baron Munchausen when they came out in the 80s and just being completely blown away by these movies at that time and thinking, wow, this guy is out there making fascinating stuff. Plus, I was influenced by him and the rest of Monty Python earlier because I was so interested in comedy. Mm-hmm. Once I got onto that set and working on that set with Terry Gilliam himself, you sit there going, oh my goodness, this is intense.
I'm actually here.
By the time that happened, I'd been around enough that I kind of went, all right, well, let me just put that underneath and do the work, and we'll save any going fanboy until the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which I managed to do, thankfully, and And then I totally geeked out. I was like, I caught him on a break just as I was leaving. Like, excuse me, Terry, do you mind if can I just get a photograph with you before I leave?
And slice your hair.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Lock your hair, and do you mind just can you sign my shirt?
Where's your fingernail clippings? Okay, so now Big Mac. How is it? Now, being him and everything, being in the show, and him saying so much was so little.
Well, how is it? It is what it is. It's great fun. I really like the gag. I really like in the middle of all of whatever is going on in any given episode, they go to him for the wisdom. They go to him to say, well, what is, how do we get in or out of whatever situation? And he just... Mm-hmm. Yep. Sums it up. There you go. Yeah, somebody's just typed in, Big Mac doesn't need to say anything to be awesome. And that's true, and so I always feel like I'm somewhat superfluous. But I'm I'm so glad that I do get to open my mouth from time to time.
So now, how do you get a role for do you come in and then like the guy's like, we just want you to say yep. And then you say yep, and they're like, okay, you got it, you're good. I mean, was there any kind of monologue or something that you had to do in the voice?
It was, the answer to both of those questions is yes, actually. It was essentially, yeah, I went into the room, and they just had to say yep, and say it a few different ways. but then they did at the time. I think they were kind of back and forth on whether or not they wanted him to be this fount of wisdom at sometimes, and so they had this monologue written out for me, which we've never said since, as far as I can recall, anyway. And they wanted me to go through it, and basically, and it was so slow. It was just this. I can not remember a word of it, but it was something, that sounded something like, well, the thing that I've learned in my long years is, whatever, something like that. Yeah. It just went on. And of course, it was so slow, it would have taken up half the cartoon. Wouldn't have worked. So they asked me to do it again, but a little bit faster, and I did. And then the way they conducted that audition was there were just a couple of us that came to the studio, not many. And we each took a turn, and then they chose one, and then we recorded the episode. So the rest of the cast was already there and waiting, and we did these auditions, and I was the one that got chosen that day. I was very lucky. And at the time, I just thought, oh, well, cool. It's just an actor part, and I will, go home, and that'll be the end of it. And that might be my turn on My Little Pony. And of course, at the time, we didn't know that it was going to be as huge as it is. It's so big, and that is such a delightful surprise.
So how did you find out about it, or what was your experience of learning of this big community?
It was through. I mean, I'd heard vague indications that there was a brony community, but I didn't know. I didn't know what that meant really. Mm-hmm. But then one night I had started this fan page on Facebook because I really liked the idea of keeping my my work related posts separate from my personal posts, and so I'd started this page, and there was a couple of hundred people there, and mostly friends of mine who were interested in what I had to do in my life, and then they then literally one night, it went from the 200 and something that I had to well over 1,000 overnight. And at that point, I thought, well, okay, well, I better pay attention to this. What exactly is happening here? And so I started paying attention, reading all the comments that people were throwing at me. Most of it was like, "Hey, Big Mac," or nice compliments and things like that. But then every now and then there was this odd question that used terms that I did not understand. And so I searched one of these terms.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear is right.
You're not... oh, gosh.
Oh, dear. And so then I had to kind of sort of back everything off for a second and say, okay, I need to figure out what exactly is happening. Because I thought, well, I'm happy to be associated with something that's good, but I'm not very happy to be associated with something that's not good.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that up until this moment, I'm a part of a children's show.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased to say that what I discovered was that it was good.
Oh, that's good.
I'm very happy. I in all of the research that I did since then, and of course the conventions that I've since been to, and these kinds of interviews, I have never really run across anyone who I think is weird. I think everybody is so generous and creative and gentle and kind, and I absolutely, I'm so proud to be a part of it. I think it's it's just such a marvelous community of people. It's one of the very best groups of people that I have ever known. So
yeah, most definitely.
By weird, I'm saying weird. I mean, I'm weird.
Yeah, dude, I'm weird, man.
Most of us are a bit weird, so that's weird. But to me, that's normal weird. There's weird, and then there's normal weird, and I'm happy to be amongst normal weird people.
Yeah, then there's like, oh shit, get away from this guy weird. But yeah, we don't really, we shun those people. But anyways, well, no, not really. But
they just don't. I don't think it's a shun. I just think it's mostly, it's not. I have found that, I mean, I'm sure I've come across people in my travels who probably do engage in those sorts of, R34 types of things, but they have never sort of put it in front of me, ever, and so therefore great, because I'm sure in non-brony life I'm coming across people who have equal and opposite versions of their own same, and they don't put it in my face either, and so fine, great, everybody's good. But I have to say, it was just, there was an initial point at which it could have gone either way for me, and I'm just so delighted that it did not go the one way and that it did go the other. Because it's so rewarding to be a part of this community in any way.
I love the community as well. They're very generous. I mean, if you think about, we did a 200-hour what was it, charity. It was a charity for Kiki's Cancer Fund that Tara Strong's doing, and I only did about 8 hours, but we raised about $10,000.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait a second, we raised more than $100? It's crazy. It's awesome.
Well, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos that are circulating. Maybe there's only just the one. I'm not sure, but I know Lee Tokar and I at both at Canterlot Gardens and at Everfree Northwest. We're really eager to participate in the charity auctions there, and I'm so proud of what we were able to raise. We just throw ourselves at that, because that is one of the main reasons to go to these conventions, frankly, is to help, and to give back to this community in some way and whatever. So, we just had a ball doing these charity auctions, and we'll do them again.
Okay, and you mentioned Lee. I heard something about, what is it, Fan Built? Are you a part of that?
Sounds awesome, doesn't it?
Oh, it's just Lee, or are you a part
just
of it?
Just Lee, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to be involved in it, but I don't really know. I don't really know anything about it besides what Lee has told me about it, and he's not told me much, because he's keeping it close to the chest until it all launches, and I don't blame him. I think it's such a great idea.
It sounds amazing for people to be able to make their own shows by networking, I believe what it was, or something.
Essentially, yeah, it's my understanding of it. Yeah, it's basically going to be and it's something that this community is already sort of doing. Because the show has inspired so much art and fan fiction and everything else, music, that whole products are kind of developing based on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. And I think, if I understand it right, what Fanbuilt is doing is basically saying, listen, if you've got an idea for a cartoon, put the idea up, and then if someone else has music for it, they can put music on it. If somebody else is doing voices for it, they can put their idea what the voice should be on it. And then people on Fanbuilt get to vote on what they think is the best. What's the best voice? What's the best thing? And you end up with a product that is already popular, right, before it airs anywhere or goes anywhere. So
that is.
I think it sounds great.
Quite amazing that Lee is putting this together.
It's fantastic, and everyone should go and support it. Fanbuilt. I'm not sure if it's .com or .ca. We're doing some .cas here in Canada.
Canadians. I want to be one.
I'm sorry.
I'm just an Ohioan where the weather changes every 10 minutes.
Same here, though. Same here.
Let's see. A new show that has come out that is really awesome, better than I thought it was going to be, was Littlest Pet Shop.
I'm so glad you have watched Littlest Pet Shop.
Oh, Sunil, you have really done great this last week, overcoming your fears.
Cobras. I hate cobras.
Oh man, I loved it.
What a fun show that is to do. I know not everybody's gonna, it's not everybody's bag, and that's okay. But I'm so thrilled to be doing it. I'm really proud of my work on it too. I get to play a lot with a lot of different voices on that show. So
Yeah, you not only do Sunil, you do the father, right?
yeah, I'm also who's come out? I'm Monban the robot.
Oh, okay.
I'm also the Zoe's owner, John.
Was that little Zuzu? Yeah.
Who's our little Zuzu? Yeah.
Oh gosh. I love the show,
Thank you.
and it's not as dynamic as My Little Pony. I mean, the characters. I don't want to say dynamic. I want to say I don't know. It's a great show. I love the pets. The humans, they kind of get a little boring. But
Well, I feel like it's a bit of a broader show. Like I mean, it's bigger in a way than Pony, and that means that I mean Pony it's a very specific idea. Pony and Pet Shop is just because you've got the girl and the pets and the shop and the dad and the school. There's sort of more sort of going on.
mm-hmm.
And I think that it kind of it just gets, the more you watch it, the more clear it becomes. You know what I mean? And I think it's really fun, and there've been a lot of really, really fun episodes.
Yeah,
So,
I can't wait to see.
I'm really looking. I can't talk too much about it because it's only just on, but it's
we've only seen up to Mom Band, is that his name?
Monban, yeah.
Mom Band, yeah. We've only seen up to there, but it is progressively getting better. I mean, I'm like,
I'm glad to hear it.
Loving this.
I think it does too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it started pretty good, and it's just getting better. So yeah.
Yeah, is exactly what I've been saying, and everybody here, it's so funny. They're like, half the bronies, they're like, well, I'm not going to watch that and everything, and I'm like, well, didn't you just say that with My Little Pony? You know,
Yeah.
you better watch out.
My question is, what are we gonna call the adult fans of Littlest Pet Shop?
Furries.
No, that's already something. That's something else.
A furry, such as myself, loves animations that involve anthropomorphized, whatever you call them, animals.
Yes, but that's not specific to Pet Shop.
Oh, well, I don't know.
That's what I mean. It's something else. That's
You can't call them shoppers because then people are like, I shop online too, you know.
yeah.
Petters.
I know some people are out there calling. There's been a bunch of different things. There's been petsters, and petters.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know that sounds weird to me. And so LPS fans, someone suggests, that's good. I'm still waiting. There's one that I've thought of, which I'm sort of waiting for someone else to think of. Because it surprises me that no one's come up with it yet. So I'm going to wait on before I say anything. I'll wait and see if someone else comes up with it. But I think it's a really good one.
Show Bros?
No.
I don't know. Huh.
I think people should think of 80s bands, and they might come up with it.
All right, well, tonight I'm going to hit...
Someone's very close in the chat. Someone's very close.
Pet shoppers? Oh, man.
Hey, up! Someone just hit it.
The Pet Shop Boys? Or the Bro
Or
Pets?
girls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. But yeah, it's a great show, and Sunil, I find myself, it's like, come on, Sunil, you can do it.
Yeah, you're root for him a bit, eh?
And he's kind of like, see, it makes it more interesting because everybody in the episode was like, hey, we can do this, let's go, and then Sunil was the one that was, well, maybe we should just hold on back. You know, what's not, this is very dangerous,
Yes,
logic, reason, cowardice.
He's afraid of everything, Sunil. Poor guy.
One of my favorite lines that I've heard so far from him was, I am reminded of the cobra whenever it's faced with my ferocity or something.
I am reminded of the cobra.
Yes.
Cowardly cobra.
Turns off like a light switch.
Turns off like a light switch.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah.
I love that. how much I get to I scream quite a bit, which
Oh,
is so very much the opposite of Big Macintosh, right? Like, and that's something that's so fun for me to do. It's so fun to do both of these characters because they are so different. I don't think you would ever catch Big Macintosh screaming.
screaming, yelling,
Like
or
Sunil, ah! Drop of a leaf.
oh man. Did you try out for any of the other characters, or did you go straight for Sunil, or of the pets? I mean, did you try for Russell, or
Usually, we get to try out when we go to these auditions. We like in the case of Big Macintosh, I was asked to come in for that part, that specific part. But usually, when a show is beginning, and you get the chance to go to the audition for the leads, you get to try a few of the different characters, and then you get a callback where it reduces the number of people coming in, and often reduces the parts that they're interested in hearing you for.
okay,
So they kind of narrow it down for you,
yeah. Oh man, but well, crap. I was thinking of something, and it's like gone.
Yeah, it happens.
But yeah, Big Mac, Sunil. I mean, you're getting in some like really good, getting popular cartoon shows.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling really, really lucky. I'm very grateful for that, because it's been a long time, like I said, knocking on the door. And, I've gotten to do lots of nice guest parts on all sorts of shows, like on Dino Train and on Wreck-It Rabbit and Sushi Pack and, and then some anime stuff even before that, Inuyasha and Death Note and all sorts of things.
Oh.
But there's never been this sort of... we had one show that kind of went nowhere called Roy's Dream Kicks, ending in an X, where I got to play a couple of the main characters, but it's sort of the show kind of never went anywhere. And so it never felt like it was, you never really felt like you got to, be in something. And then Pony was the first thing that for me, even though I was a sort of, they've done however many episodes they've done. I'm only in something like 15 of them, but it's the first time I've ever felt like there's a resonance with an audience that, that's a lot of the reason why you do it. I mean, you do it to go and have fun and make silly voices, but it's so rewarding to feel this resonance, to know that the art that you're involved in is connecting with people, and that is awesome. It's a great feeling, and so Pony was the first time that's happened, and I don't know yet if Pet Shop is going to have that same hit. We'll see, but
I don't know. From what I've seen on the internet, people that were into Pet Shop, the TV show or whatever, they're like, "Oh, this show sucks" and everything. But people that haven't seen Pet Shop before are like, "Dude, this show's awesome." So people that don't like the change of it. They like the kind of like the old Pony show watchers that really liked My Little Pony before Faust got a hold of it. Didn't like the new one because it was just completely different. But still, I mean, I'm seeing more people like it that haven't seen it than people that have watched it and don't like it, which is good.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's exciting. It's nice. Just as you say, it's really awesome to be part of something that has that potential at the very least.
Yeah.
As well.
Hey,
as
Deimos.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Deimos.
Hey, QCOM.
Hey, real quick, just wondering, did you start recording this?
Yeah, I've been recording this whole thing.
Okay, cool.
And we got the recording of you asking if it's recorded, so that's going to be in the show notes.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Can I also ask, am I in the recording of this?
No, it's a one conversation thing. It's just me asking questions and 5-minute intervals in between.
Oh, fascinating. That would be awesome.
What would Peter New say? Answer these following questions in the order that they're asked.
I'm going to answer something from the chat. Someone has asked if I would say E-up for them. So I want everyone to get ready, because I'm going to say E-up.
Whoa.
Ta-da!
My body was not ready.
I know.
You know
I'll
what?
stick Linker too, probably.
People are just, oh, okay, we got a ton of smiley faces and a fuck yes. So people are loving
And a
it.
one-trick pony. Thanks, awesome. If someone says, "Can I ask a question?" The answer, yup. Told you it would come again.
Oh, whoa.
Ta-da!
And he's not a one trick pony. Are you a one trick pony?
Nope.
You see?
See?
He does
Two
two. He does
tricks.
two.
All right, guys, I'm going to disappear again. Sorry for that.
See you,
That's great. Thanks.
There's.
All right. So what I have learned is that you are kind of the Q of My Little Pony, only showing up ever so often, but yet being more popular than the main six.
Well, I don't know about that. I think the main six are still pretty popular
Pretty
ponies.
popular. Tara Strong and Tabitha.
But I think it's awesome that he's such a popular character, and again, I'm so thrilled that he is, because it's great fun to do, and as long as he remains popular, I'm sure they'll, hopefully he keeps appearing as long as the show keeps going.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I greatly enjoyed Hearts and Hooves Day.
Oh, thank you.
It
was fun to do. Holy smokes!
Hearing him talk, it was like, yes, he speaks, and I must listen. It's like the old grandfather that doesn't say anything. He just tilts back and forth in his rocking chair, and then whenever he says something, the whole entire crazy feasting family shuts the hell up.
Yeah. Although in that episode, I don't know. I think everybody was trying to get him to shut up in that episode.
or oh man, whenever Applejack gets pissed, she doesn't talk, and when Big Mac gets pissed,
I thought that was so smart. What great writing.
oh my gosh, I was like,
Peter knew was gone. Someone said Peter knew was gone, but hang on. I'm still here.
yeah,
I'm typing I'm still here right now so that
Yeah.
you can see it. I'm going to say ta-da
yeah, ta-da.
right there.
Here it
And
comes.
hitting enter. Ta-da. There you go.
There it is. Oh man, but
It was so fun to do, to be able to say schmoopy doo. It was so hard to when I got that script. It was so hard to try to figure out how that. I basically only ever said yup and no, and so it was really tough to go. Well, how do I say these giant cartoony silly things? And then, I was going to say, I thought how smart, what great writing that was to have AJ clam up and Big Macintosh
finally talks.
have all those lines. I thought that was so great.
And then it kind of scared the shit out of everybody, because it's like, holy crap, whoa, Big Mac is pissed.
It was heavy.
Oh man, and then him just go worry. I'm like, oh geez, be kind, Big Mac, be kind.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I know, and it's great. I mean, that's all great character development stuff too, right? Like, just sort of makes you think, well, what else? What else could there be in that character? And I like that it's he's kind of the slow burn character, right? Like you get a real strong sense of him right up at the front, because he actually did speak in that first episode he was in,
yeah.
and nice long monologue, or reasonably long for him, and then it's sort of this slow burn. Like, what else can he do? What else does he think? How else does he, and I feel like there's a great potential for him.
Yeah,
Still.
and I loved how in the first episode he speaks in, where he's telling AJ all this stuff about apple bucking and everything. It really sets the character for him, saying that he is this wiser, older person, brother or whatever, and even though he doesn't speak, he has all that wisdom right there.
Yep.
Yeah, he just lets the women all talk and gab and everything, and
Well, not just the women. I think if there were more other boy ponies, I think he'd let them gab and talk too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the town has a ratio of 10-1, but anyways, I'm rambling here, but and making no sense. But anyways, yes.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been doing some of that as well. Rambling and rambling until I come to some point, which I find most of the way through what I'm saying.
And then it all makes sense at the end.
I hope.
At least to me it does. I guess because I rambled as well. But how do you like the art? Some of the
Fan art?
G-rated art.
Yeah, no, I try to avoid the other. The G-rated stuff, the art, let's just call it the art.
The art
is fantastic. It's one of my very, very favorite things to do at the conventions is to walk around in the artist's alley and then the traveling gallery and just look at the stuff that is getting made. It blows my mind partly because I can't draw or I'm not good at creating those kinds of things at all, and I have I love walking around in those spaces because it's just so full of creativity and joy and it's just amazing. It amazes me. I don't know how else to talk about it. It's just so incredible. I've been given such beautiful stuff from these conventions. I wear a little pin on my lapel, my jacket of my cutie mark, which is this beautiful little metal pin that I was given in Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing what Tara Strong did and cosplaying as your character?
Well, she sort of challenged us all to do it, didn't she? I don't know. I haven't. Again, like I said, I'm not that good at creating those things. I think someone would have to help me.
Oh man, that would be awesome. I mean, to see a voice actor dressing up as their character and then talking as that character, it's like, this is them. I know that.
It would be. I'm actually dressed as Big Macintosh right now.
Oh, flannel?
No, I'm not.
Oh, dude.
Did Michelle? Michelle went as Apple Bloom at EQLA. Did she really?
Oh, what happened?
Somebody says that Michelle went as Apple Bloom at EQLA. That would be awesome had she done that. That's great.
But yeah, it's
I would do it. I don't have any opposition to it as an idea. Yeah. I just, I would, like I said, I would need help. I would need help with the costume. I'm not that good at it, making a costume up.
There's a whole fandom here that cosplays as you constantly.
Oh, I know.
I mean, have you seen any cosplays that you just look at them and you go like, whoa?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Tons of them. Tons of them.
And the time and effort that they put into these costumes are amazing. I mean, it's quite spectacular. I love it.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, and not just, I'm not even just thinking just of Big Mac cosplays because I've certainly seen some good ones. But yeah, all of them are just great. People dressing as their OCs, people dressing as everybody. Some people would come to the convention. They'll come dressed as one pony one day and another pony the next day and another pony the third day. Which I just think how amazing. Like because for me, I have a Big Mac scarf that someone gave me very generously, and I have my pin. And then maybe someone could lend me a hat. That's kind of where I'm at with it, right? Like
brand messaging.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know how to make it a costume. And then these people have not only can they put one together, but three, and they're all fantastic. And I just think, wow, amazing! You're amazing.
And then for them to, I used to dress up in this Fox costume, and I would. Run around playing music and dancing and everything, and little kids to big drunken idiots would come dance with me and everything at these furry conventions or whatever. It was incredible to do that, and cosplayers do the same exact thing, and to experience hauling all the stuff there and putting it on. And then trying to keep it clean and nobody spilling anything on it and everything. And then you get it in the room and you got to clean it and spray it, hang it up and everything. Make sure it's still nice and everything. It's to see people that have 2 or 3 of these and trying to think that what I'm doing now they're doing triple.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing, and I just go up to him. I'm like, wow, are you're dedicated.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
I do have one thing I want to say real quick. There is one artist that I've seen that draws a anthro version of ponies, but they're clean anthro. But I'd stay away from his page. But anyways, there was one that was Big Mac. Well,
Thank you.
clean anthro versions of ponies, but non-clean versions of furry stuff. But anyways, he drew Big Mac writing a letter to Princess Celestia, and basically it was this big, huge.
I've
thing
seen that, actually.
saying like how choosing a cutie mark, like as their kids or something, that has to be their job. And then she's like, too long, didn't read.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was quite funny. And of course, I read it in Big Mac's voice in my head.
Of course, I mean, you got to read it in Big Mac's voice in your head.
Well, I can't help it. As soon as I see Big Mac dialogue, okay.
All right, then, how am I gonna do this?
I want to answer a question from the chat. Reign of
Yes.
Silence asks, Peter, how have you found the cons you've been to? Mostly I get picked up and taken to them. My smart-ass answer. They've been delightful. They've been just great fun. And then you go on to ask, how do the fans treat you? They really generously and very, very nicely. It's awesome. I love, I will just walk around these cons. I have no problem just being in the rooms with people. I don't feel like I'm going to get, mobbed or anything. And
Yeah.
I think it's great fun to just hang out and chat and, talk ponies with people. It's great. It's a good time. And would I attend more in the future? I definitely would attend more in the future. And in fact, I have several hopefully lined up for the coming year. The only one, though, that I can say with any certainty that I'm going to be at is Animate Miami in January.
All right, if you're ever in Ohio in June, I believe, TrotCon is in Columbus.
Yeah, well, I'd love to come to TrotCon, but
It's,
so far I don't know if I've heard anything about this. Most of this stuff goes through my agent, so I'm not always sure, what is out there.
TrotCon was actually pretty fun. I was actually on like 6 panels last year,
Yeah, I
controlling
thought
them.
it was a real blast.
It was good, and they only wanted about they pictured like 500 people coming, but like 750 came, and
cool.
so it was pretty fun, and so it's going to be another fun year. So if you have any time in June or some, I believe it's June, into June, come on over to Columbus, Ohio.
Well, it's in June. Someone says, okay. I would love to go. Any place that I've never been is always an exciting place to go, as far as I'm concerned. I've never been to Columbus, so I've not been to Cleveland. That's exciting. I never knew that I would ever go to Cleveland, so that was a thrill.
How was Cleveland?
I enjoyed it, actually, as a place. I was surprised because, Cleveland has this reputation as being boring outside of itself, and so, it's sort of in comedy circles, it's always, to me, it's always kind of had this, it's a punchline.
Yeah.
And so it was sort of curious for me to go to this place that was, I'd really only ever known as a punchline for, where boring things come from. And I thought it was lovely. I thought it was a really lovely city.
Oh man, that's I wish I could have gone to that. It
was fun.
I was busy, and everybody just said it was spectacular, and I could have drove a knife through my heart, man. I was like, no, but yeah, Cleveland, yeah, it's pretty good, pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that fun. I mean, it's like every other Ohio major city. It's like, we're still in Ohio.
People, I've noticed this about Ohioans that everybody from Ohio was kind of down on Ohio, but it was very pretty, I thought.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you live here, then you'll understand.
I guess.
I mean, I'm getting into voiceover right now, and Kathy Westlock is my instructor.
Oh, good.
And
Yeah, she's great.
she's awesome. And so I have actually built my home studio here, and I'm getting into voiceover. But someone told me that, like, in Ohio, there's only a very, very, very few amount of people that actually do voiceover in Ohio. And I'm
Well, I
like,
imagine that Ohio is not, really
well,
a center. I mean,
Yeah.
there are places where cartoon voiceover happen. I imagine mostly in Ohio, what you're going to end up doing are radio commercials.
Well, that's what I'm going for, is more commercials or promos.
Mhm.
And
But even then, the radio commercials that you're going to get in a place like Ohio are going to be local things.
yeah,
You're not going to get a lot of national stuff, I wouldn't imagine. I mean, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about.
which
But I imagine most of the national stuff, which is going to pay better, is going to get cast out of probably Houston or New York or Los Angeles.
yeah. But for starting out, local stuff is
For
pretty
starting
good.
out, is wherever you
Yeah.
are is the right place to be.
Yeah, and so, but then it's like with him saying that there was so few people in Ohio that actually do this. I'm like, nobody understands me.
Yeah, well, you're an actor now. You're always going to kind of feel like that. I'm afraid.
But yeah, I believe that's all my questions. And if there's any final questions in the chat, don't want to take up too much time of Mr. News time. But
Someone. Oh, Reign of Silence again. Hello. Would you consider going to other countries for cons? Yes, I would.
oh, yeah, there's like England and Germany and all those really far off places that you only hear about in books.
England, Germany. I would love it if there were something in Australia or New Zealand. I would love it if. Hi. I would love it if there were. Well, I mean, anywhere that would be awesome to go to. If there were a Fiji con, I'd go to Fiji.
Let's see here. Stay tuned. I'm posting a pic of Fancy AJ and Big Mac. Oh, crap.
What's your favorite muffin? Oh, chocolate chip.
Oh, that is good.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, I'm craving muffins now.
Someone there was an idea floating around a little while ago. Floating around, I say, this is a no pun intended, but the idea of putting a con on a cruise ship.
Oh.
And I think that would be kind of hilarious. I think that would be kind of great. As long as it wasn't too terribly long, I think it would be good.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, not a proper one, no. I've been on a boat. I've been on a ferry.
Oh, that just sounds terrible. Oh, anyways, let's
There
get
needs
on.
to be a con in Hawaii, definitely.
Yes.
Someone start one at the Dole plantation.
Yes, that would be. Hawaii is. I would just yes. There needs to be a con there. But yes, so there was a question that someone did have that I remember now. Would you do a promo for let's see here, for Celestia Radio?
This is Big Macintosh. You're listening to Celestia Radio. Like that?
Yes, and then could you do one for the Party Rock blog that Deimos Foxx hosts?
You're listening to the Party Rock blog, hosted by Deimos Foxx. This
Awesome.
is Big Macintosh.
Oh, I'll get it. I'll splice things together.
Yeah.
I'll cut and paste and tape and duct tape and everything. So that's how.
Someone has asked in the chat 2 questions that I've seen go by. Do you actually own a Smarty Pants doll? I actually own 2 Smarty Pants dolls. They're quite different from one another, but they're both awesome. And someone else has asked, would you ever work in an apple orchard? I grew up here in Vancouver. In my yard were 2 apple trees and a pear tree, and when I was very little, plum trees. And so we had a lot of fruit picking every year, and I think I've had my fill.
Yeah, he's not one of those method actors that goes out into an orchard and picks apples for a year and a half just to say yep.
Yeah, yeah, and I also am not sure entirely. I would have to try it technically, um, but I think if I got down on all fours and then kicked the tree with my feet, I'm not entirely sure that I would get any apples out of it.
That would be an awesome thing to see. I would jump up in the tree and throw apples down, just so that it would look cool. You kicking a tree and having apples fall.
Although, what is your favorite type of apple? I'm really enjoying the Aurora Golden Gala, and I'm really enjoying the Salish apple. But I also enjoy I think probably my very favorite, when they're really good, when they're the right ripeness, are Cox's Orange Pippins. That's my favorite types of apples right now.
I haven't heard of those.
Oh yeah, but you know what? There's an apple festival here every autumn, and I went up to the apple festival this year, and there's so many varieties, and you can try them. Oh, so good.
There's one apple that you bite into it and it just tastes immediately like apple juice. Like apple juice tastes different from apples. Depending on what apple.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been finding that with the Aurora Golden Gala actually, that it really tastes like apple juice, but then you're probably thinking of a different one. I probably have had Washington State apples. Yes, we get a lot of Washington fruit here in BC.
But yeah, I believe that's it. We're coming up on an hour here. This has been a great interview.
Awesome. I'm glad I've enjoyed myself. So
yes, it was incredibly fun, and we learned a lot. And let's see, what is the next you said the next convention you're going to is anime something?
Animate Miami in Miami, Florida, and that's the middle of January.
All right, people.
And then after that, hopefully nothing too long after that, because I like going. They're fun to go to, these things. So
yeah, we love having you there.
Yeah, it's always good.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna close this up. QCOM, are you there? Because, QCOM has been ever so nice to broadcast this for us, since my stuff is not working. I guess what will... Oh, crap. Well, hold on. Anyways, yes, nothing's going wrong. No technical difficulties here. Celestia Radio's on top of the problem. Anyways, yes, so he has ever so nicely been able to broadcast this for us. He has left us to get something to eat, I guess. But anyways, yes. Thank you, Mr. New, for coming on here. And
a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Give us some of your time if you ever want to come on and just start rambling. People will listen.
Oh, well, I like a good ramble.
Yes, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Oh, there he is.
Come right on. Hey!
Hey! Yep.
Well, QCOM, so glad you could join us.
Yeah, just as everyone's leaving.
All right, well, QCOM, do you have any final questions, even though we say goodbye to Mr. New?
These are the bonus questions. It's like after you're staying after the credits.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I love those.
Gosh.
Anyone who hasn't left gets to hear more of me talking.
Yes. Okay, Mr. New, question.
Yes.
Why are you so awesome, and who's your favorite pony?
Oh, gosh.
Well, my favorite pony we covered earlier.
Yes.
If I'm not allowed to say Big Macintosh, which is the answer, then it's Rarity's dad.
That's awesome. Okay, I know. Everyone who listens to the interview now is going to go, he already said that question. Why is it being asked again? Oh.
Well, it's because you've been away getting things to eat, which is important.
I've been away getting things to eat. All right, but that's really all I have. Thank you again, Mr. New, for joining us.
A pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, man, and we'll let you get back to your busy schedule.
Thank you very much.
All right,
awesome. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.